Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, hey
What is
everybody.
up, everybody?
Welcome back to another episode of the Way Love Goes podcast. We're on a new night. Well, I would say new night, a different night than our regular Friday because we have some special guests with us today. So first, before we get to that, I am your girl Tierra Monique, and I am joined by my lovely brother co-host with the most from the West Coast,
Dondeez.
Dondeez. So
Hello, hello.
we hope y'all have had a good week so far on this hump day, which ties in with our topic. I just thought about that.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay.
Hump day. We're
Hump
gonna be talking
day.
about
Yeah.
some good
Yeah.
old sex today. But before we get into that, let's do a quick check-in. How is your week going? What's been going on you since the last time
Yo,
you were together?
dude, you know what? A lot of stuff.
Uh-huh.
You know what I want to do? Can we bring in our people so we can check in on them too?
Sure. Yes,
Our
let's do that. Let's do that.
therapists.
Let's bring in our
Yo,
guests.
we got some awesome people that we want to bring in. Our brother and sister who just got busy the other day um, on Just Therapy. Check that out on Monday nights and on what's the Anchor. I'm gonna bring in my bro here, comedian Shawn Boyd in the house. What's good, brother Ren? He's
Uh,
mute. He's mute.
Oh,
You gotta unmute.
yeah, I forgot I put it on mute. My bad.
Go ahead. Go
Hold on,
ahead.
y'all. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. And
Hi.
we got our sister, Miss KT. Welcome, welcome.
Hey family, how
How
y'all
What's
y'all
going
doing?
down?
Y'all
Thank
doing
Yeah,
y'all
all
man.
right?
for joining us.
I have to publicly apologize. I've been calling her Miss TK all week for the past like 2 weeks. So every day for the past 2 weeks. That's why you guys got to speak up and talk because I'll just be going on random spouts of talking. So anyhow, we're glad to have y'all on here for this conversation today. And before we get into it, man, we just want to um, do a little check-in, see how everybody's doing. Uh,
So let me ask a question before we get
Go
started.
ahead.
How can
hmm
people find this live right now?
Oh, so we're on two platforms. We're on YouTube and we are on Facebook. So they can search um, the
We
Way
love
Love Goes podcast on either of those platforms, and it will be the first joint that comes up because it was live right now. Shout out to Carol Bishop. Bishop in the house was good. Was good. Yes, sir. So yeah, you could do that. Everybody can pop on. You guys can search and see, and then you'll know how to get through.
Oh,
If you
All
guys are
right, thank
smooth
you.
enough, yeah, you could do that. Actually, you know what? I could put a link too. Hold on, I got some for y'all. Anyway, let's go in. Tierra Monique, how are you doing?
I am doing better, way better than I did last week. I couldn't even lift my head off the pillow last week. I had
Mm.
migraines like crazy, just women issues, and then also I had a family emergency. My stepfather is currently still in the hospital right now, so prayers go out to him. My sister's dad, and yeah, so we're still praying that he's gonna pull through. He is progressing, so we've just been dealing with that at the same time. And then now my son is sick, so
Oh, dang.
I mean it's like boom, boom, boom. So, but he's getting better too. It's just that when he gets sick, it triggers his asthma, so it just
Oh,
kind of makes him wheeze and stuff. But other than that, we're all alive and we're all here, and I'm just thankful. So I'm good. I'm good.
good. Brother Shawn, what's new with you, bro?
Nothing much, man. Just trying to figure out this new job situation, man. You know, that's about it. You know, I see Bishop Karen in the chat. I see Tierra Monique wanted to get all fancy for the porn episode.
Yeah, why'd you have to clown me earlier this week when I was trying to be excited about inviting you on? You was like, "Why are you getting so excited for porn?" I'm like,
Dude,
"Hey, man."
You was so pumped about porn. Oh, episode that is, yeah, but still, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited about everything, bro. Come on, man.
I get that, but I just hope that everybody's internet connection don't mess
praise
up.
the Lord.
Let's
just
like
pray.
I know mine is great. I wish I could just like, connect everybody to my internet connection and then everybody be good.
Right.
Especially
you know what? I ain't mad at that.
You already like, you know, fuzzy and everything, but that's my check-in. It's hump day. Hump
day. All right, how about you, Miss KT? What's new with you?
I am doing great. God blessed me with a snow day today, so I had to leave my house. I've been comfortable. You see, I'm in sweats. I've been chilling all day long. So it has been a great day for me. Unfortunately for y'all, I'm eating dinner, vegan pasta.
Oh, nice.
Vegan. Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
How was the salmon yesterday, sis? I gotta know, because like we can check in now. I ain't gotta wait till Monday.
Yeah.
How was the salmon?
It was so good. It was my first piece of meat. I started fasting. We did the Daniel fast with the church. This was my first meat, so I wanted some salmon. It was so good. I had a piece yesterday for lunch, and then had the other half today for lunch with some potatoes and Brussels sprouts, and it was so good.
Oh God! Well, you got. See, I didn't eat yet, so you're making me hungry. I ain't gonna be able to eat till after this. Yeah, it's still early for me.
Yeah. I got to work from home since little mama didn't have preschool. I was like, I'm gonna keep her here, so she's playing blocks. She'll probably be in here later trying to say hi. So.
Oh yeah. Well, good, man. Glad everybody is doing well. We're gonna jump right into it, man. We're gonna jump right into this, and I'm gonna just apologize to everybody right now because I do have a cough going on. So if you see me dip and try to hit the cough every once in a while, that's the sounds. That's the extracurricular sounds that I'll be contributing today. We got chewing of the vegan pasta and cough. Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna use the church finger today. I want to put out a disclaimer. He said therapist when he was bringing us in. The podcast is called Just Therapy, the podcast.
What did I say? I said you guys were therapists?
Yeah, we are no therapists. We are no expert. And I'm only here to not get fined, one, and then for moral support, two. Because if you listen to Monday's episode of Just Therapy, the podcast, I said a lot. And I'm just here to like add little pieces here and there. So I'll probably be laughing all episodes. So go ahead.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to mislead the people astray. None of us are therapists. We are experts in our own experience, and that's what we offer to you today, or whenever you checking this out. So yeah. Today we're talking about porn, y'all. There's really no other way to say it. I want to go ahead and say that just in case you happen to be somewhere where you didn't got the headphones on and your kids are around. You could just quickly be like, oh, okay, well, let me turn it down. Let me fix my things, doing what I got to do. But we're going to get into it, man. Excuse me. I want to know everybody's thoughts. We're going to talk about some articles and stuff that we checked out, and man, we just gonna get into this business. And everybody can, when you got a question, I got stuff on here. We're gonna be chatting and chopping it up, but of course, interject whenever something pops in your mind that you want to say. We got a format, but it's loose, so we just gonna go with it. All right. first thing I want to do is define porn right here. Okay. Say that again?
No, nobody said anything.
Oh, okay. Wow. I'm hearing phantom stuff already. Okay. So here's a definition that I found on the internet. And it says pornography is printed or visual materials containing the explicit description or display of sexual organs or activity intended to stimulate erotic rather than aesthetic or emotional feelings. Here's a sample sentence. She warned that access to hardcore pornography would shape children's expectations of relationship. This is a mid-19th century term from the Greek pornographos, writing about prostitutes. Didn't bet you didn't know that little fact there. From porni, prostitute, plus graphene, which means to write. So those are the origins of the word. The first thing I wanted to know is, do y'all agree with this definition? Because as you're doing a conversation, you got to have the grounds of, all right, we talking about the same thing. So what y'all think about this definition?
I think it's self-explanatory. I mean,
Yeah.
porn is porn, whether it's visual or it's in a magazine. Porn is porn.
Everybody else pretty much, yep. And Shawn, I hope you better be muted, boy.
She can't hear you.
Okay, all right, okay. All right.
But the first thing she said, she was like, "That's Keisha." So,
hi, little mama.
From the chewing? Oh, from the video. Okay.
No,
Gotcha.
her eyes work. Go in there. Right?
Yeah. I got you.
I feel like that definition is a bit outdated.
Yeah.
It's kind of makes almost anything sound like it could be porn. You know, like if I look at somebody's picture and it makes me think something, it could be a regular picture, but if it brings me some type of gratification, then it's instantly porn with that definition. So I just feel like it's a little, like it kind of is too general, I guess.
Yeah, it's like anything intended to stimulate you is automatically porn.
So
yeah,
the gym is the new porn hub, then pretty much.
Hey, listen.
From that definition, I mean, because like KT said, it's too broad. It's definitely too broad. So yeah, it should be updated. I don't know when that definition was created, but
he said 1952 or something.
Yeah. 19th century Greek word is what it was pulled from, but yeah, that was like last week. Yeah, that was like last week that I pulled it up though. So it's on here. They just on here doing its thing.
They just didn't update the definition because that is way too broad. Because like I said, I guess the gym is the new porn hub because you see the booties or whatever.
The pants, man. And like I'm glad I got a gym where ain't hardly nobody here. I could just focus. But yeah, I be seeing workout videos and stuff, and I'm like, yo, you don't really have to go too much farther than these workout videos to get according to them, your stimulation. It is what it is these days. So now we got that. We're thinking about it. So how would you rein it in to say more? Like what is missing from the definition, I guess?
I guess I'll go since everybody got quiet.
I know everybody got quiet. You're like, I don't want to say.
I feel like I'm in class.
Yeah, I know, man. What's missing? I mean, so we know what we talking about. You dig?
I would define porn as pictures or videos displaying sexual acts, as far as like intercourse or fellatio, I'm gonna use the real words instead of all crazy. But I think that would describe it better. Because I still don't consider nudity all the way porn, because you got nude models that will get painted, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or drawn. So that to me is almost an art form of sorts, but it could be used in a magazine, because you're not drawing a magazine, you're just watching it. I haven't seen the nudie, that's what they used to call nudie magazines, in so long. Last time I seen one was on a TV show where the wife found the husband's porn magazine. I was like
back in the day. Was it like a throwback show or something?
It was BMF actually.
Oh shoot! Okay, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll keep thinking about it, because the reason why I kind of wanted to go with the definition first is because we're talking about how this affects or influences or has any sort of impact on a relationship. So if we kind of got to know what we're thinking about. I mean, I think we kind of all know, like, everything that you can see on the internet, access all the videos and things like that. That's kind of going into it. Let me ask this question, because we're talking about it in terms of relationships. Is porn the missing piece of a couple's sex life, or is it a hindrance? What can it enhance? Can it be bad? What does it do for the sex life of the couple? Y'all think it makes it better or worse?
I'm going to say that it can make it worse if you mutually have not agreed upon it. I would say that. If my man is watching porn and his expectations of me is to be a porn star, then that's where it can cause a problem. But if two people have said, okay, let's watch porn together to spice up the bedroom, then I guess in that realm it could be. But I mean, that's to each his own, because that's not something that I would want to do. Only because I think that we should be focusing on each other, and we should be each other's own porn stars. And I don't want him to have the image of another woman, even though, I mean, I don't know what he's thinking. I hope he's only thinking about me. But the image of another woman, I don't want him to be thinking about that. I want him to get aroused by me, and vice versa. I want to get aroused by him and not something else. But I know that right now in society, porn is like the new sex toy for the bedroom. I wouldn't say new; it's been around for a long time, but it's like more accepting that porn is like the extra ingredient for couple sex life. What y'all
Carol
think?
said, if the person prefers porn over their mate, then yes, that's a problem. So it's looking like some of the general consensus is, and I'm holding off because everybody knows I'm a pastor, and it's like, yeah, we know what the religious view is. So before we even say that, I'm just trying to see what do we think just in our own regular mind. But is the issue with it not so much porn itself, but if it is the preferred activity for a partner over their partner, if it's like priority over their partner, is that what the real issue is?
So for me, porn is like the idea that comparison is the thief of joy. Like, you think it's good and going on and everything's great, and then you watch some porn episode you never seen, and you like, oh, I didn't know they could do that. Oh, what is they doing there? Oh, why we don't do that? You don't never do me like, And I feel like, and maybe I started watching porn too young, and I come from a Black community where nobody really talks to you about sex. Nobody teaches you what to do. And then you see some of this stuff on porn, and you like, Is this the normal? Is this what people do? Is this too, and it's hard to gauge what's far and too far. And then, it warps your sense of, I guess, normalcy or what's common or acceptable the more you do it.
That's good that you said that, because we found on mindbodygreen.com where it says that porn desensitizes the brain to pleasure such that it requires more and more intense stimuli to get sexually excited, yielding to more unrealistic expectations of your partner. So that could be a thing. If someone never, let's say for a virgin, let's say two of these people are virgins. I mean, let's just say they're both virgins. And they say, you know what, my homeboy said if we watch porn, it's going to help us. And then they watch together. And then maybe he's like, oh, well, you can do what she did. And she's trying her hardest. She's never done this before. And now it's starting to create more unrealistic expectations for him to her. And then maybe he might start trying to look for that elsewhere. Or vice versa. You never know with women these days.
Dang, it's interesting to think about that. Yeah, I think it could. Okay, I want to put this out there. I'm gonna put this out there. So I feel like there's two sides to what's happening in pornography. There's like a erotic, not two sides. Bro, this guy, he's not gonna be able to make it through here. There's two sides, but what I mean is two aspects. So like there is what I would call the more perverted side of it, and then there's the erotic side of it. So I hate trying to say this because it's, it seems like I'm trying to justify things, but I don't necessarily see something wrong with the erotic side of things, like trying to build intimacy, trying to explore, the whatever the different possibilities are with your partner in sex. And sometimes it is these creative things that show that. Doesn't mean that it needs to be the expectation, but it could be, it's like a possibility that could be explored. Because they have versions of, they have material that you can buy that's erotic material, but it's like the purpose of it is to like give you ideas or help you figure out how to explore sexually with your partner. Like the whole Kama Sutra book, and they have various video versions of that. And the whole point of it is to try and teach you other aspects of your sexual experience with your partner. So I think there's those two elements of it. And one is very damaging, which is the perversion part of it. But if there's a responsible way to harness the possibilities with the erotic part of it, then I think it could be actually something that is, beneficial to your couple. What y'all think about that? No.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I think they're like, okay, remember we talked about this. There are apps, but there was this particular app, but that was for couples to show them like how to do certain positions, right? And they didn't have like people, they had like these images, like these purple people basically, and they like showed different images of different positions of what a couple can do, right? And so you both would download the app, and then then you would go through these images, and whatever position you want to try out for that night, you would share it to your significant other, and then like okay, can we try this tonight? So that part, yes. If you're in agreement with that, yes. Because there's nothing wrong with trying new things. There's nothing wrong with, trying to do something different, because everybody don't want to do missionary. Everybody don't want to do, the regular, basically. You want to try something new if, what you've been doing is no longer really getting you off. So I don't see no problem with that. Kama Sutra books and the joy of sex and little pictograms. But I mean, but for some people, watching porn together is like it's better for some reason. I mean, and nowadays you have amateur porn and you have professional porn. So I mean, I don't know where you draw the line with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you mutually agree to something, it needs to be a respect there so that you're not doing it. Because my thought is, are you going to start now watching the porn when your significant other's not around? Because what if you weren't watching it before and now you are? Or what if you
Like
said
you
yourself,
done
I
been the
wasn't going to watch
gateway?
it again until then? What do you say now?
You said you done been the gateway. They wasn't doing nothing, and now you done opened up the box. You done opened up the floodgates. The waters have risen. Listen, man. Okay, so Carol says, I prefer not to incorporate it into my relationship. But on the flip side, I said, whatever erupts the volcano. Good Lord. She kind of... yeah, so how does that happen? How do you think about that? Like, I'm willing to try things. Like, we haven't done nothing, or we need to spice stuff up, or everything is boring, and now it's about trying things, even if it's outside of your comfort zone. Is that something that you think is damaging to a relationship or can be helpful?
I think you gotta know who your partner is. What y'all think? I think you gotta know who your partner is.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about like, yeah, go ahead.
I feel like you have to know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been with somebody and they were like, "Are you trying to say I've been doing it wrong all this time?" And I'm like, I can't judge what was right or wrong with y'all. I can only tell you what's right and wrong for me. But I feel like, once again, that idea that porn warps people's sense of what's right or wrong or whatever. And if you're married and y'all choose to do it, there's really almost no right or wrong, whatever. But the idea is that I feel like we go way too far in trying to seek pleasure. And it just takes things further and further, to the extremes, I guess.
That's true. That's true. What you think, Shawn? We haven't heard nothing from you today, sir.
I told you I'm here.
He said he's chilling.
I'm here for more support. No, that's it. Because
he done bared his soul on Monday.
No, I mean, not really. No, it wasn't even about porn on Monday. I mean, it was more about fetishes. Yeah. But so y'all was saying porn is Kama Sutra books and sex position books. I don't think that's porn.
No. I don't think porn is Kama Sutra books. Oh, okay.
That's what
he was saying. Like that's the erotic side that can be porn.
I said yes. I said that's the erotic side that you could benefit from within that realm. So.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you said, that's the erotic, because you didn't see nothing wrong with the erotic side. You see what I'm saying? So like the side, you were saying was Kama Sutra or sex position books. I don't think that's porn, because most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they're not naked. You know what I'm saying? It's just literally positions or fake people in a book, because you can't draw what the anatomy is. I think if you want to introduce porn, you can introduce porn. I don't feel as though you get it depends on who you are as a person, because I don't think you can get false hope from watching porn. You see what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I was introduced to porn at a very young age, and it didn't change any expectations in my mind at all about sex.
How do you know what it changed if it became a part of your life at such a young age?
I'm just going about how I felt. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it changed anything.
So in your mind, it didn't, or?
Well, I guess in my mind, or other my sexual partners' minds, because it wasn't like, oh, I seen this in a porn video, I'm gonna try this. You know what I'm saying? If we was trying something new, it was because we wanted to try something new. I mean,
where did those new ideas come from?
You say what?
Where the new ideas come from?
If you feel like, oh, let's try something new, where did the idea come from to try something new?
It'd be in the middle of the session, so it's like,
yeah, no, but
okay,
I'm saying,
so if I seen a position in a porn,
right?
That's what I'm saying.
But
but
that's not introducing it into the relationship to me. Just because you try a different position, because usually there's only so if you did not get ideas on positions from porn, there will only be 2 positions, or actually 1 position, missionary. So if you didn't see in porn doggy style, you wouldn't know to try it or not. You see what I'm saying? You wouldn't know if that was your favorite position, or if he was hitting the spot like he should be from that position, or if the reverse cowgirl girl was a good position. You see what I'm saying? I don't think it's introducing the actual watching of porn into the relationship.
So to your point, what I'm hearing is that porn is kind of beneficial to a couple's sex life. Because if you don't know any other positions, and then you watch porn, then now you know how to explore each other's bodies or how to do different things.
Or Kama Sutra, because Kama Sutra teaches you different positions as well.
Right.
And Kama Sutra to me is not porn.
No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's porn.
So educating yourself on different sexual positions doesn't always mean you have to learn it from porn.
No,
if you look at the definition of porn that was given, Kama Sutra is definitely porn, because if you're teaching, learning, doing any experiences to enhance anything sexual, that's pretty much what porn is. That idea of trying to increase sexual gratification. So whether you watching this, you looking at the book, you do a Google search, whatever you are doing to enhance it, sounds like a form of porn to me.
Well, we all agreed at the beginning that definition was outdated. So okay, everything is porn.
So then, okay, riddle me this. So then, because of the definition that we had earlier, so then that means that if we go based on that, then there could there be good porn and bad porn there? Then could Kama Sutra and Joy of Sex books and pictograms, and when you Google stuff, is that considered good porn because we're not watching human beings actually have intercourse? And then the pornography that we see on Pornhub is actually bad. I would say bad based on what we hear in church, because what we hear in churches don't watch that, and then people automatically say, okay, don't watch that. And if they go by that definition right there, they might also say, don't look at Joy of Sex.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. They're gonna say don't look at any of the stuff. So. Right. So I want to. So let me see this. Between a relationship, for a relationship, would we say that? What do y'all think that there is that pornography has some sort of positive, beneficial aspect to it?
If we're going based off the definition that was given, as far as porn being any kind of written pictures or video, I would say yes, to an extent of, I guess it all depends on who you are and what your couple. Like for me, I don't want to watch it, but let's look at some pictograms. Let's do a Kama Sutra or like the joy of sex. Okay, let me see how I can figure that out. I mean, even still, remember growing up, the HBO shows that would come on, and they wouldn't be porn. I can't remember what it was. What was it? Sex or something. It was Sex something. If y'all remember the HBO show that came on late at night, it was called Sex something. I can't remember. But it was like this show that explored like the different ways of having sex or physical intimacy with your partner that wasn't always intercourse. They would have things on like just what is that like aura filling kind of sex where you just put your hands or you get really close to the person, or they would show you how you can do certain things, and they even showed you how you could do fellatio. We want to be technical with it. I mean, the lady didn't put it in her mouth, but she just showed, whatever. So those things, like, they would be considered as educational learning type of information for sex on how you can better your sex life. To me, I don't think that's porn, but a lot of people may label that as porn. I think those are helpful in a relationship.
True. Now, what do you think about this? Because here's something else that we were talking about when we were prepping for this. What if you have a partner who is really not, I don't know, they're either not really into sex, they're not satisfying you, or for whatever reason, they're not as sexually active as you. Do you think that in that spot, if somebody turns to pornographic material to help sustain them, is that something that is damaging, or is that okay because of the circumstance where they're not getting what they need from their partner? Because you're thinking about this in terms of a relationship and along with one's natural needs. So is that okay? It's like, hey, you're not giving it to me, so I'm gonna just go over here so I don't cheat.
Dude, that was a long ass question, bro. Like super long.
Basically, it's okay for your partner to indulge in watching pornography when you don't, because you are not as, like, your sexual drive is not as high as theirs. So if you're not meeting their need, they're like, okay, you're not meeting my need, and I don't want to cheat, so I'm gonna go ahead and watch this porn and take care of myself. Is that okay in a relationship?
The better question is, do you think it's cheating if your mate watches porn without you? That's the better question. Y'all going around the question to the real question.
Well, there's two different questions.
Two different questions.
Yeah.
Okay,
So the question is, and I'll answer it for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I am a very honest and direct person, and if you don't help me get where I'm trying to go, I'm going to let you know that you didn't help me, and I'm going to get there, because I can't get started and not finish. Not that type of person. Mama didn't raise no quitter. So if that's what's needed to get there. Now, I'm not a big porn person at this point in my life. At one point I was. But if that's what's needed, right? Because typically you watch porn for the mental stimulation as a woman to help you get there emotionally, so that it's easier to complete the job that wasn't finished. And so if you need to watch porn to get off, and it's something you have to sneak and do, then I feel like that's a problem, right? As an adult, you should be able to be honest in any situation. And it's not like you got to announce it like, hey, babe, I'm about to go finish what you started. I'm about to use the, but there shouldn't be a sneaking of, anything as an adult.
Right. What you got to say, Shawn?
You don't agree?
I mean, what she said, makes sense. I mean, most people that don't get sexually gratified by their partner just leave or they cheat. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how that would be so if your partner's not fulfilling your needs sexually, y'all need to have that tough conversation that needs to be had. But like, if you need to get off, I mean, you need to get off. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm here for moral support, y'all.
Yeah. So here's another area I want to get into. Because this whole thing is about different ways that pornography can impact your relationship. So let's say you get, you do have a partner that is maybe it got started because they were like, yo, I just gotta take care of this need, and then it turns into more than that. Now it is kind of getting to the point of where they're almost like they're preferring it over, or it's an addiction or whatnot. What what do you do in that situation? Do you give them the ultimatum and leave? Do you try to work it out? What do you do when it starts to get to that point? Because there are people who are dealing with that in their relationships right now, and don't know how to handle it. So what can we do in terms of giving people some ideas, for you? Like if you were in that situation, what would you do? Would you just tell the person you're out? You tell them, you try to figure out ways to deal with it? What's your move?
I don't think I would leave. I wouldn't leave. Yeah. I would have a conversation first to find out, okay, is there something we need, talk about? Is there a reason why you're preferring this over me? Because it can get addicting, especially if someone has already an addictive gene in them. Some people get addicted to a lot of things. So if they get addicted to it, especially when they're watching it without you, and then watching it a lot. I can say for me, I had this issue when I was married. I got introduced to pornography when I was 9 years old. So really early. It didn't creep back up until like right after high school. And but then I got married when I was 21. So I had an issue with it along the way. It didn't help that my husband at the time was in the Navy. So when he would go away, it was like it was on. But it was when he came back, it was like it was hard to turn off, which led to unrealistic expectations, which also led to me not being able to really connect and bond with him as husband and wife, because I was thinking about the images that I saw instead of connecting with him. So I think, having a conversation, I talked to him about it, but we didn't really, we didn't get into it. But I think that because I had that experience, I would ask that person. We would need to go to counseling. Couples counseling, marital counseling, to figure out how we can get through this. And if this person could not stop, then I think then you have to realize, okay, is it affecting my relationship? Is it causing emotional distress on me? And then possibly taking a step to maybe exiting the relationship. But again, I wouldn't just up and leave right away. I would want to help him to figure out how we can get past it. What you say, Ms. K2?
So I feel like it's definitely not especially off the top leave situation, right? Because I feel like, anything in marriage can pretty much be worked through as long as, nobody putting their hands on nobody and nobody cheating. But I do feel like you got to kind of get to the root of those problems. And like, I was a little shocked when you said you were introduced to it at 9, because a lot of times we have things that are so ingrained in us that we just naturally do it. And if that's not how somebody else was raised, and they don't even understand how you have this addiction, how it's a problem for you, because they've never had or experienced those type of problems. And so for me, if you watch porn, it just depends on how it affects us, right? Like what about me would make me want to not ask you to watch porn? Like, it doesn't bother me that you watch porn, if you addicted to it, right? If I wake up in the middle of the night and you watching it and I didn't know, or, it feels like it's taken over, I feel like maybe that's a problem, and maybe that's extreme because you're going too extreme. But if it's something you enjoy, I grew up with brothers, and sometimes they be sitting in the room with like 3 guys and they be watching porn, laughing, talking about, look at that, I can't believe that, that's stupid, that kind of immature stuff. So it just depends on the type of person you are, I guess, in the perspective.
Okay. Let me bring in this note from Kim. She says, I think porn kills love. I think it's the most destructive thing. It pollutes the eyes. It also destroys the mind. It can change your personality and weakens your soul. And then you start to add into that, the idea about trying to be pure in your relationship, trying to have a right mind in terms of how most people who are spiritual and godly think about that. Do you think that is a good argument? Do you think that is not useful in today's society? Because this is definitely the perspective that I grew up with. This is the definitely perspective that I lean towards when it comes to the idea of porn and how it's utilized. I think, part of it is, how do you keep your mind right for a relationship? Do you think, yeah, I'm kind of making it long again. I'm thinking about Shawn, but to shorten it, basically, because I'll be like, I'm thinking of the question, and while I'm thinking of the question, I'll think about what I think about it too. So let me just cut it off and say, is the religious view of it old, outdated, not useful, or is there value in that perspective? What do you think?
I think there's value in it, because it can distort your view on what sex really is. It can just because sex was not created just for an orgasm. It was created for us to be able to come together and bond. And it's another way for us to express our love for one another. But unfortunately, and I have been a part of this, that you end up using sex for other things. You use sex to get over on the person. You use sex to just to get off, to relieve your stress. I mean, we use sex for so many different things, and I think sometimes pornography, well, 9 times out of 10, sometimes pornography can distort the view of what sex really is, and for young boys, it can make them objectify women at an early age if they're exposed to it really early, and then vice versa for women as well. So, I mean, I understand the ramifications and why, in a religious view, in the faith standpoint, that we should not be engaging and watching pornography in the aspect of seeing actual two human beings interact with sex, because that was not what we're supposed to be doing. I mean, I always say, make your own porn. Y'all record yourselves and then watch it back. But I mean, when it comes to that, I do agree. I agree from the standpoint of that part, because it can become addicting. It can mess up your relationship if you're both not on the same page. And even if you start off being on the same page, the other person might backtrack. So that's just my view on it.
So let me ask you this. What do you mean by if boys watch it at a young age, it lead them to objectifying women? In what way?
That a woman is only good for orgasms. If I'm young, if I'm 9 or 10 years old, and I'm already going through my adolescence, my puberty, I'm starting to notice things about my body is changing, and then I get exposed to pornography, and I start seeing these women in this way. But when I look at a little girl in my school, my peer, then I'm not looking at her the way I was looking at her before I watched the porn. I'm not looking at her as little Susie. Now I'm looking at her as, oh, I wonder if she got what she can do. I mean, I don't know what a little boys go through in their head, but it can cause someone to start to sexually objectify a little girl or a woman, whereas the only thing that they are good for is to help me have an orgasm. It's to get me off.
Okay. KT backstage waiting on you. But
okay, that's what happened. Okay, I was trying to figure out. Okay, got it.
Yes, she dropped out somehow. But
okay.
Because everybody has an opinion. I will have to disagree with your opinion.
Okay.
I got introduced to porn when I was 4 years old, and I can truly say I've never objectified a woman thinking she was only good for orgasm. I can use my hand for an orgasm. But I like Carol said, godly people are the biggest freaks. Sorry, bro, I got to keep it real.
Oh yeah.
So when the comment was, what was it? It kills love. I disagree. But everybody does have their opinion. I don't think it's the most destructive thing. I think anything can be addictive. I think anything can be overcome. I don't feel as though like you have to watch porn to get off. You can think about your mate when they're not there,
Mm-hmm.
and use that, or you can, you know, have help with porn. I did know a young lady, she was married to a guy and she said he was addicted, and it kind of took me aback. And I'm like, how is he addicted to porn? Like, that don't even make no sense. Like, and she said he would watch it like at work on his phone, at home on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm starting to think like, well, you sure it ain't something else? Like, cause like, are y'all got kids, but are you still like having sex with your husband? You know what I'm saying? And she was like, no, I stopped because I told him if he ever watched porn again, I'm leaving. And I'm like, so you not go try to like work through it to see what's really at the cause of the issue? So she literally left him and divorced him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like people are so quick to run. To me, it just makes no sense. I know they say, you know, you shouldn't watch porn and all that stuff. Some people watch it just to watch it, you know what I'm saying? Which is kind of weird, but some people do. Because like you can watch a show that has sex scenes in it. Wouldn't that be considered porn?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Game of Thrones had sex scenes in it. So was I watching dragons or was I watching porn? You know what I'm saying?
Porn.
It didn't make me like want to go and objectify a woman because I seen somebody, you know, Tyrion, my guy on there, you know, having sex with somebody at the brothel. That didn't make me want to run and go objectify a woman. You know what I'm saying? It's almost it's so many contradicting things in this category to me. That's why it's like I don't know.
So
like, stay.
I'll put in there something that comes from me in terms of, you know, like this actually, let me put up what Kim put here because it kind of made me think about it. So she says, our bodies are used to glorify God because the Holy Spirit lives in it, and gives verses for that. Guard your heart, flee immorality. And so she's coming from that perspective. So I'll put it out there and then let's talk about it. So what that reminds me of is, you know, how you're doing self-improvement on yourself. So what are the things that you put into your body, surround yourself with, that make you a healthier partner for your partner? And I think that is kind of where we're coming from, in the sense of like, okay, God created us, made us this way, gives us these things to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. So now that we're trying to do that, will we expose ourselves to things that would deteriorate that ability, that possibility, or things that would heighten and make that better? So I think that's part of what's coming into this, the idea of, you know, why do you want to show this to? It doesn't have to just be guys. I mean, it could be men and women, however. But I think that's where we're coming from when it's like, why do you want to expose yourself to this, or why would you want to watch this, and that kind of a thing. So is that something that we think is helping or hurting us, even in our own personal development for our partners?
So for me, I feel like it's hurting. And it's with anything, once you see something, you can never unsee it. Mm-hmm. Right. And there are some things that I have accidentally saw on porn that I wish I would have never seen, because you never unsee it. And that image is ingrained into my mind and will forever be a part of me. And I get disgusted thinking about it now.
Are you talking about the Mexican donkey show?
I don't even know what that is, but I don't want to see that either. Oh Lord!
Yeah, oh Lord! Stay away from Shawn.
Hey, that sounds like nope, earmuffs, pineapples, whatever. No.
Yeah, all the safe words. Get it away.
Like once you expose yourself to something, and unfortunately, Shawn, I feel like maybe you were exposed to it at such a young age that has always been such a part of you that you look at it differently. But I really do think it makes a difference. Whatever you train yourself in, that's what you become used to. I was grown, like in my 20s, maybe even close to 30, before I even knew what a reverse cowgirl was, or, and it's like, you don't know what these types of things are. And I will tell you, I classify myself as a freaky prude because I don't do a whole lot. I don't know a whole lot. I ain't trying to experience a whole lot. I got my things I do is in this little box, and I do those things very well, and I'm gonna keep them in this little box, and I don't need all that extra experiences. But I feel like the more things you open yourself up to, it's like a rubber band. You stretch it and stretch it. It never gets that same elasticity back. It just, it keeps going until it pops. So that's how I look at porn. Like if you just keep going, it'll keep stretching with you unnecessarily.
So let me add this. So, cause like, it's like, Kim keeps saying it's lust and porn is not a father, and I get that, but you cannot watch porn and still lust at somebody walking down the street. Am I right? No.
Yeah.
Somebody
you can.
Job. Somebody in your church.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
So do you want to? So the question that I'm did, because remember, I'm trying to keep this in the realm of how can you be the best partner? How can it help your relationship? If that's an area where I'm like struggling, I'm like, dude, I can't even hardly walk down the street without lusting. If I now add specifically intentioned material to that, I think is not going to be helpful for me. And I think maybe even subconsciously I might be so objectifying women and I don't even know it. I mean, what's crazy? There are so many things that when people started to speak more about like patriarchy and how men are misogynist and all the different types of things that were happening, that was like me silently being shocked and learning. I was like, oh my God, I definitely thought like that. Oh, I am a misogynist. I am, and a lot of it was stuff that was subconscious and that had just transpired over time because of things that I had been exposed to in my life. And so I'm thinking in the realm of sexuality, those kind of things, the more I don't know, I guess the more content that you're exposing yourself to, it can even start to form you or subconsciously in that way. So maybe that's part of the things that contribute to how we look at women, think about women, deal in our relationships for men and women, all those aspects of it as well. Kim said something about masturbation. What were you saying about masturbation? Because I feel like that's a different realm.
I don't think she said anything about masturbation. She just said, "What about masturbation?" Then Richard was like,
"Oh,
she watch porn." That's what I was laughing at.
You said,
I'm
gonna probably say no.
Right, I was about to say you asked her. But I don't really think any of us can actually answer that question as far as does porn enhance it or put a detriment to it. We can only give our opinions on it, So like it depends on if both of the partners are healthy sexually and want to try new things. Porn might help. But if they are active and sexually healthy, it could not help, and it can deter the relationship. I mean, if you good with your partner and you have the difficult conversations, I think that's the biggest thing you got to have. I think you can watch porn with your spouse and be totally fine with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then, like, But then I guess there's some people that can't watch it because people look at it in different ways. And KT, you're probably right. I probably look at it a totally different way than anybody else since I was exposed at a young age. So like, it's like of course, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm coming from a different angle by being exposed to it at a younger age. So I look at it so much different. I can go without watching it ever. You know what I'm saying? But I can also go without having sex either. So, you know, I mean, yeah, I guess it's just different mindsets and different points of views of it, you know?
Right, right. And to your point, we have found that there was a licensed psychologist and sex therapist who said that porn was neither good or bad, but if it's causing emotional distress for you or your relationship, interfering with your daily functioning, then it's a good idea to examine your relationship to porn and what function it serves for you. So it is to each its own. It is a case-by-case thing. I mean, even on OprahDaily.com, they said that porn builds sexual attention and piques in curiosity. So I mean, it's to each its own. And to go back to what you were saying, you know, it's for each person or each partner, each couple to determine if porn is going to be good for you, but to really, really, really have that conversation. Because I get that, you know, we see porn everywhere as far as like in pictures and in a movie, but I think it's different than if you're watching a movie and a sex scene comes on, whereas you actually like go to Pornhub.com and turn it on and y'all sit in front of it and y'all watching it. Cause it's like, it's different. It's like, oh, I'm watching a movie and it comes on, but if I'm only watching sex back to back, the next 5 minutes, the next 2 minutes, the next 30 seconds, it's just sex. I think that's to me, that's the difference when it comes to seeing it in a movie and then actually introducing it into your relationship in that instance. And then it's like you open the Pandora's box and it gets out of control for one of you. That's the only thing. But again, it is a case by case thing. I mean, it is to each its own.
Well, I feel like it's really not a difference between seeing it, watching the movie, and, you know, whether you go searching it out or you just watch it, which is the thing I don't like about our current society, because it's so accepting of porn and everything. I could be watching a normal regular show and the next thing you know, a sex scene that's too erotic for my kids that was watching it with me, or a commercial comes on, you know, like, and it's like when my kids were little, I used to have to kind of guard what they watched so much because there were so many things they were being exposed to before I felt like they were ready. And I just feel like, and I feel old when I say these type of, but it's like each generation is becoming more and more and more acceptable of what shouldn't be acceptable. You know, like when I was younger, I remember, I think it's called Cinemax. They used to have like the
Cinemax. Cinemax. That's what we used to call it.
Yeah.
Porn late at night, and it wasn't even extreme. And it would be something too much where you'd be like, okay, what time is it? Oh, yeah, that's why this is about to come on. Okay, let me turn this off because it's about to get crazy. And then BT came out with the uncut. Crazier. And now it's like those type of things are on regular daytime TV. And you trying to watch a regular show. And the next thing you know, you see somebody's butt, or you see somebody kissing, or you see, you know, just something too sexually provocative to be a regular show. But they say that's what sells. Sex sells. And that's why they, you know, use it for a variety of reasons.
The Emmanuel Chronicles is what you were talking about.
Said we probably need to throw out our TVs. Just throw them out. Just get rid of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Our TVs are on our phones.
Yeah, well, you know what? You got a 65-inch you want to get rid of, I'll take it. Send it this
you know what's crazy? I had a guy who was a mentor to me, and he's a pastor and he's a psychologist, and he was talking about how the quote unquote corrupt things that we have in society, they're so deeply ingrained in society that trying to escape or get away from them is not realistic. It's so ingrained in society at all kinds of levels that we know, that we don't know. People say it's like okay, don't watch pornography because you're supporting the industry. Well, guess what? Anything in television is part of the industry. And if you're supporting any of it, you're giving money to the same things that go into these production companies. I mean, it gets so deep. So the whole idea of escapism, I don't know if that's really the best. You could try, if you could keep it realistic, I guess, you could try for it. But I feel like the guiding principles are what makes you the best person that you can be for yourself, one, and for whoever for your partner, and then for the relationship as a whole. There are people that do feel a certain way about porn use, and they may have a partner who is addicted, or that they have labeled as addicted, because there are different places on how they view it. So I want to give something from one of the articles that we read. If you're a person that's trying to figure out how to have one of these conversations, they had a good list of questions that I wanted to share. So here's some questions that you can either ask yourself or your partner if you are trying to navigate this whole situation. All right. First question here is, what bothers you about your partner watching porn? Or if you're the person who is, then this is something you could ask to your partner. What is the issue in watching porn? How does it make you feel about yourself? How does it make you feel about your relationship? What is your partner? Why is your partner watching porn? Which I think is something that we talked about earlier. What's the reason behind it? Maybe it's not the porn use, but there's a deeper issue that you could get to. Another question: how is your shared sex life going? Could it be better? Can that be something that you talk about? And then, how can both partners' needs be met with the most compassion? So if your goal in your relationship is to serve each other, and you're trying to do what's best for your partner, maybe it really is that conversation. And maybe if you don't have the questions and the things that you need, it is going to start with you trying to just find some of the understanding on, why is this happening? Why is this part of your relationship? If you're the person that doesn't have an issue, but your partner has an issue, find out what's going on with them. But make sure that you're putting your efforts into your relationship, because there have been studies. I'll tell you, all the articles we were looking at, there were studies that prove both sides of it. There are studies that have said porn is the problem. There are studies that said porn is not the problem. There are studies that said you can't tell what the answer is. So it really is up to the people in the relationship to put forth that work of having those tough conversations, self-evaluation, and putting the priorities of your partner before anyone else. What I will say, because I understand where Kim is coming from, especially from the religious aspect of it. And I will say this: those people who are choosing to be in a relationship where you are connected to God and the Spirit, you are held to a set of guidelines that you want to live by, right? Doesn't mean you won't struggle like everybody else, but that's the realm that you're in. There are other folks that's not their journey, that's not their walk, and so they're operating on a different wavelength. So if you want that to be part of your journey, then yes, start the practices that guide you by the Spirit. I feel like that's the best way to live your life, but everybody's not there. And so you start with what you feel is the best, and then you just try to get better and better. Those are the kind of things. Those are basically my last little thoughts that I wanted to say on it. I don't know if anybody has any other final thoughts you want to say before we finish up here. That was it.
No, that was a lot.
So one thing I do want to say is remember that you can never unsee something once you see it. And you really do want to be careful about what you expose yourself to and what you allow your children to be exposed to, because those experiences no matter what they are, right? Epigenetics, I'm really big on it. Every experience you ever have is recreating your DNA, making you who you are. And so the reason why so many new things are accepted and considered normal and acceptable and even small is because they've been around so long and been included and indoctrinated into everyday life so much that now it's no longer the outlier, it's the norm. And what you're really doing is shifting the data set, and instead of things being considered extreme, everything's okay. Oh, you want to do that? That's fine. If you need to do, you know, and we just don't want to get into that mindset of allowing any and everything, because I really do feel like it changes you tremendously.
Shawn, you have any final words before I say the quote of the day?
Oh, we getting out of here already, huh? Okay.
Yeah, man, we can't go 3 hours, man. We not good like that. We got to work up to that.
We don't go 3 hours no more either now. I mean, we used to, but we don't do that no more. KT would kill me if we try to go 3 hours.
I'm trying to cut down to 2. Get 90 minutes.
Nice. Well, the last couple episodes have been good, but Monday, I guess we just got into it and it just went a little long. But the questions, like, I guess you would have to ask yourself, like, if it really bothers you. I think Carol makes a good point when she said, if my mate watch porn, rest assured it's not going to make me think less of myself. Why? Because I know what I am and what I bring to the bedroom, period. I think that's how a lot of people need to look at it nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I still don't understand how people would just watch porn in the middle of the day, not to, satisfy themselves. Like, you watching more than 10 minutes of this? Like, I don't see how anybody watches more than 10 minutes of it unless they in a session, But if you sitting there just watching it on your lunch break and stuff like that, yeah, you got a problem, and you probably should get some counseling. There's different ways to look at stuff. So I don't know. If you got a problem, seek counseling. If you don't have a problem, I guess to each his own. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, I agree with KT. We definitely got to censor our kids. I mean, there's shows I watch that I look up and I'll be like, oh man, and then I'll make sure little mama watching her tablet and not looking at the damn TV. So I understand, like, once you see something, you can't unsee it. Like, 2 girls, 1 cup. You still can never unsee that if you've seen that and they took it off the internet. But
I'm glad I didn't see it. It was gross.
Right.
You said you heard it was gross?
No, I said it's gross right now.
It sounds gross.
Oh, well, I mean,
he's putting all the titles of everything out for people to go and corrupt themselves.
No, you can't. If you find it, I don't know how you're gonna find it. They literally scrubbed that thing from the whole entire internet. But
good. Okay.
But there's a lot of things that people watch, period, that don't even have to do with porn that can corrupt your mind. Like, me and my brother used to watch Faces of Death all the time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and it never bothered us until the crazy thing of when this Asian dude had a age. Well, I'm not even gonna go there.
Yeah, don't go there. That's
a different podcast. My bad. But, like, there's stuff that can corrupt your mind just watching different things. Like, if you see the video from Chicago that happened recently when the guy shot at some people that was yelling at him because he went in there and, like, slapped the birthday girl. And he went, like, he shot the father, the girl of the father went to check on him. He walked up on her and shot her in the head, then walked up on somebody else, shot them in the head. So that's what can corrupt your mind too.
But in the realm of relationships and pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I told y'all I was just here for moral support.
I got you.
If it helps your relationship, power to you. If it don't, cut it out.
Gotcha. All right. So my quote for the day is, if you're not satisfied with what's in front of you, then you'll find it hard to be satisfied with what's beyond you. I'll say it again. If you're not satisfied with what's in front of you, then you'll find it hard to be satisfied with what's beyond you. And I look at anything that can cause a rift in your relationship is what's beyond you. So if you're always seeking out porn in order to satisfy you because you're not satisfied with what's in front of you, which is your partner, then you're never going to be satisfied. If you're always seeking whatever it is when it comes to relationships, you're never going to be satisfied if you're not satisfied with what's in front of you. So if you are in that realm where your sex life is, you don't like what's going on and you want to introduce pornography as the way to fix it, I would say first find out what you can do first for yourself. Ask yourself, am I the problem in our sex life? Or ask your partner what you all can do before you introduce anything that can cause distress to your relationship. It's all about making sure you take the time to have the conversation before you just automatically assume that something on the outside, like porn, is going to be helpful. That's with anything. If you introduce a sex toy or any kind of new position, whatever it is, just find out first what you can fix together first. And then if you mutually agree to it, then that's between you and your partner. Your partner, and Jesus. I would say that because, I mean, everybody has their own temperament when it comes to sex and their own sex drive. Somebody might have a high, somebody might be a low, and then it can always change depending on how long you've been together, because for women, it could be low in our 20s and then get high as soon as we hit 35. So it just all depends. So that is my quote and final thought for this episode.
All right, y'all. Hopefully you got some stuff to think about in there. You got the comments, you got your own experience. You can evaluate all them things together. Hopefully we said something that was helpful for you. And yeah, that y'all have thriving, beautiful, intimate, lovely, sexy relationships.
And we want to thank
future.
Yeah, we want to thank our guests, Miss KT and Shawn, for coming on from the Just Therapy podcast. You can check them out every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live. Please go and support them. Go check them out. Go follow them on Facebook. Do y'all have what's your Instagram handle for both of y'all?
Mine is SB Comedy.
SB Comedy.
Yeah, all one word. We didn't put the podcast
the ads up there.
We'll probably do that soon. I do want to thank y'all for having me on. I probably was a horrible guest tonight. I apologize for that. But thanks. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for the moral support, the presence, right? It's all there. Yeah. And we'll do it again sometime.
Miss KT, do you have an Instagram, or you want anybody to follow you, check you out?
I have an Instagram, but I don't use it, so there's no
okay.
I have a TikTok that I also don't use, but I'm going to use more than Instagram at some point.
Okay.
Miss KT _comedy on TikTok, but follow us on Facebook, Just Therapy the podcast. And
I'm sorry, I didn't put that in there. I'm sorry.
No, you okay?
Just Therapy the podcast. I'm sorry, y'all. And don't forget to come back and check us out on our regular time, which is going to be Fridays at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Way Love Goes podcast. You can check us out on Instagram at The Way Love Goes Pod. Facebook, The Way Love Goes Podcast, our YouTube channel, The Way Love Goes Podcast. And you can send us a message on Gmail at thewaylovegoespod@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends and your mother, to your sister, your brother, and your enemies and your co-workers all about The Way Love Goes Podcast, because we want to help people learn how the way love goes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. God bless y'all.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.